Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Pisces. If Pisces is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, also your Venus or your Saturn or whichever one that you like to watch for, then this is a message for you. Okay, so let's get started, Pisces. We have tonight the Two of Cups. Yes, love, love, love. All right, let's go ahead and take a look and let's see what are these tea leaves going to tell us. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you want to hit the like button or leave a comment, my birthday. This is coming out my birthday tomorrow. So it is my birthday. So shout out happy birthday in the comments. Also, if you're new, definitely let me know that you've been by. We have a person standing over here and it looks like they're holding the moon, right? A crescent moon. Now, next to them, it looks like we have, and it's hard to kind of see really, but there's a little horse. Okay, we also have hearts, hearts, hearts. This one, a big heart right here. Okay, even a person standing right on top of it. And we'll go back to that one. But I want to look at this. We also have a person here. It looks like almost like a bear, really. You can see the head with the little ears. The body, you can kind of see the feet here and the feet here. Here is the arm holding onto a snake. Really got it right there, right around does a snake have a neck? I don't know, but up there near the head, right? Now over here, we have the person holding the moon, but it also looks like they have a boar right in front of them. And a boar is a pig, basically, like a wild pig. A little more ferocious, really. So I'm looking at this and I feel like, my goodness, it is a very aggressive energy. Not necessarily a bad one, but I do feel that you have a connection with somebody, and it maybe is an amorous, a connection of maybe eros, right? This is more maybe sensual, kind of a physical relationship. It could be that this is your person, you know, this maybe is like the soulmate. I know a lot of people talk about their twin flames. This might be a twin flame. But what I see is somebody who really walks in the night side. This is somebody who maybe most people, even the people around you, your own family, they might look at them, they might experience them as somebody who is maybe a little bit dark, maybe a little bit mysterious or kind of creepy, right? That, you know, it's like if you could imagine like a very suburban family, right? And then there's that one family member in there that's just totally like, you know, into death metal or something. They're wearing the corpse makeup. It's all white with the like black dripping and stuff. And it's like, you know, obviously they're sticking out of the family. I almost feel like it's kind of not necessarily an edgelord kind of energy like that, but more there is an energy around this person that people perceive as being dangerous or, you know, kind of strange, eccentric, you know, maybe even kind of scary a little bit. Now, I don't necessarily think that this is like they're afraid, they're like, you know, some violent, creepy person like that, but maybe they're into some strange things, right? Things that are misunderstood, or things that, you know, the people around you might feel like that's maybe a little, I don't know. I don't like to think about that, right? You can bring up topics sometimes around family members, friends and stuff, and they say, that's not something I like to think about. You know, I don't like to think about macabre things like that. I don't like to think about morose things. But this person, they're on the ninth side. So what does that mean, right? If you can think of somebody who is just very light and airy and open and, you know, very kind of heliocentric. They live in the day, in the light. They have this feeling of, you know, maybe kind of real positive and open and you know, maybe even kind of a leader, or somebody very beautiful, very clever, very charming, you know, and just like a golden child, right? And then you have the night side, which is, yeah, sometimes very beautiful, very charming, very alluring, but also maybe a little mysterious and hidden, and maybe just kind of there's almost a little bit of an uncanny feeling about them. And yeah, I feel like this is maybe somebody that is similar to you, but maybe not. Maybe this is like your opposite. Maybe you're really that golden dayside child, and you found your, you know, kind of night side, you know, balancing person. But what I do think that is so important here is that you feel very connected to them, and they feel very connected to you. And with the boar, I immediately think of, well, Circe, but also, or is it Sybil? No, it's Circe, right? Every time with these there's so many goddesses, and they are all each so incredible, but all of their animals, I'll tell you what. Yeah. Okay, and I'm thinking of, right, when Odysseus is at her island and she turns all the dudes into pigs, right? But yes, it is this kind of middle goddess, right? And I see this pig with this person, this ferocious beast. I mean, it really is. If you know anything about wild pigs, and especially because apparently they're quite invasive in the Americas, and they were introduced by the Spanish when they were colonizing, and they just spread. They're all over, apparently they're all over Texas and some of the other southern states, and now they're moving north, you know. I don't know. I've never seen one, but I've heard that they are out there somewhere. And they can be quite aggressive. And so there is this feeling of this person who you are connecting with almost being kind of overly protective of you. Even to a point where I'm not going to say it's controlling, because in a way, I kind of feel like this is something that you kind of match the energy. There's a real sense of like, once you get locked in with this person, it's like you two against the world, right? And there is this mutual respect and really looking out for each other and protecting one another. And so I wonder, you know, for some people like myself, I might think, okay, this person's trying to control me, right? This is getting a little bit too, you know, I'm my own dang person. I'm going to do what I want, you know? And, but I think, you know, in the right circumstances, especially if this is a dynamic that feels comfortable for you, I feel like this could be like, you know, king and queen, or queen and queen, or king and king, or, you know, whatever variation. These two royal beings coming together in a unification to become pretty unstoppable, right? Pretty unstoppable. Now, I see over here we have the bear. Right? And this is also kind of another middle goddess energy, a mother energy. We think of the mama bear, right? If you see a cub while you're out taking your walk, run the other way. Get out of there. Do not get close to it, because you know who is coming right through those trees. It is mama bear. And she's not going to be too happy, right? So again, with this protective energy. Now, we have the snake. The snake usually, for me, would say, yeah, there's some real knowledge being bestowed here. We're going to have a spiritual download or some kind of revealing, okay? Also, though, the snake can be a little more nefarious. The snake could be somebody in your life who, you know, is speaking ill of you, who is moving against you. You know, maybe they're jealous. Maybe they want what you have. Maybe they just don't like you. You know, maybe they're just somebody who runs their mouth for the sake of running their mouth. You know, they get in everybody's business. They're always causing chaos. And there's no real reason why, except for that's just the type of person they are, you know? And I see you and your person really looking out for each other, okay? It's like one of those things where it's like, you do not speak ill of my partner, of my spouse, of my significant other. I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? No idle talk. And if I hear that you are putting dirt on their name, right, we're going to have a problem. And I feel like that's really kind of this energy. I don't know that you've ever had a relationship that feels so involved, right? I feel like you've had maybe serious relationships, maybe even been married before. But this is something that reaches beyond all of that. This meets not only these kind of more physical world, superficial needs that we have, right? But it also reaches down into those deeper spiritual places. There is a connection that tells me that you are woven together. You belong together. You are made for each other. And I don't care if you meet when you're 18 years old, or wow, maybe even when you're a kid, right? You can meet in preschool, grow up together, get married, spend your life together. Or maybe you meet when you're, you know, 98 years old and you're hanging out in, you know, the assisted living place together, and you fall hopelessly in love, and you know, realize this ultimate connection and love that, you know, maybe you didn't really believe was a thing, but here it is. Now, I want to go over here. We're going to look at our clarifying oracle cards. These are oracle of the radiant sun. And I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to flip through. We are going to pick out 3 of them. And I just want to ask the cards, really. What do I want to ask them? Really, like, what is going to lead to the activation of this union, right? What is it that's leading up to it? What are the circumstances in the now, right this second, right? As you are heading into this relationship. Now, it might be that you're already married, right? You're already together. You found each other. So this could be a renewal of that connection. It might be somebody that you've been dating or you've been living with, and you've been together for quite some time, and now you're getting to these deeper levels with one another. It could be that you haven't even met them yet. You might be sitting here saying, I am not interested. You know what? I'm already married to somebody else, Lenor. And, it's good enough, but it's not what you're talking about. Well, I'm sorry to say that I do promise you that there is this person. And if you choose to go this way or not, they are out there and you are going to meet them, or you've already met them. Okay, they might not be who you're married to, but they're somewhere in your orbit. So let's do the first one. We have Fortune. All right. Fortune. Riches. My goodness. Look at this. Devotion. Oof. I'm going to change my sign to Pisces because, listen, I want all this. Mostly the devotion. I want to be worship. No. So we have Fortune, Riches, Devotion. Okay. Yeah, these are the circumstances leading to, right, this belovedness, this, oh my gosh, the emergence of this most beautiful thing in your life, okay? And yeah, it is going to take some fortune, absolutely. Now, with the riches, this could be monetary, absolutely. But it can also be the riches of spirituality, of connection, of, listen, right? Maybe you have gone through some stuff. Maybe you've even gone through like a divorce that was really contentious, or, like myself, I was widowed. I was widowed at a young age. And I thought, that's it. I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. I'm 30 years old and I can't do it again. Right? And I was alone for years. And then I met my husband now, who you probably know over at Dove and Serpent Tarot, my husband Paul, right? And meeting him and having our daughter. I mean, that's like bringing all of the wealth of the world to my life, right? Bringing me the ability to have this child. But it could be something like this, where maybe you've given up. Maybe you have given up on love, on meeting somebody that you can connect to, that you can understand and they can understand you, right? And you can work together and you can build this life that is rich and full of the things that you want, that you need. And that is fortune. That is fortune. That's like, in my estimation, one of the greatest fortunes, right? Now, devotion. And we do have, look, the union of the solar king and the lunar queen. The connection and unification of opposites. Two, bore the star, okay? And so I see you devoted to this path, devoted to this love, devoted to yourself, devoted to your partnership, devoted to your faith. And that's another big part of this. Your faith is unshakable. Now, I'm not saying it has to be religious. It could be a faith in science and the rational, whatever school of philosophies, or you know, the absence thereof, meaning, you know, whatever it is. You know, I got a little discombobulated today. I was watching a video on YouTube about the meaning of nothingness, especially in Buddhism. And I love watching that type of stuff because it's like you strip away all these layers of things and you get down to these, you know, really the tenets, the basic tenets, the ultimate kind of understandings and whatever. And then within their own system, right? It's like all of this is to be said, but also this means nothing as well, right? So it's like, my goodness, this onion really takes a lot of peeling, doesn't it? It really gets your mind going in loops and loops and loops. And I think that you're devoted to the way. You're devoted to the path that you're on. You're devoted to discovering, you know, these deeper connections. And ultimately, right, the love. And that's what I think it really is for you, the love. And so let's go ahead. I want to flip this around a little bit too, because we have this large heart and it also looks like it has almost the feeling of the sacred heart. So this feels like love beyond love. Do you ever, have you ever read that poem, Annabel Lee? My parents, my mom especially, she named me after Lenor from the poem Lenor by Edgar Allan Poe. Not to be mistaken with the Raven, although it's the same character or whatever. And the other option was going to be Annabel Lee, right? And I love the name, but I'm glad I was Lenor because it really does suit me. But anyways, in Annabel Lee, he says, we loved with love that is more than love. I and my Annabel Lee, right? And that is the feeling of that sacred heart. There is love that is more than love, that even the winged seraphs in heaven, the angels, right? The angels, they were jealous. They were jealous because this love is so pure. This love is unshakable. This love is the light, right? Not just the light, the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. This is agape. This is love that is divine. Not only is it divine, but it is of the divine. It is with the divine. If you could imagine the saints, right? These traditions of saints who often were, right, nuns of some kind, and they marry themselves to Jesus, and they walk the path of physical celibacy, and you know, and they are married, and they do have these intense, beloved relationships with God and, well, the Father and Jesus. And I'm sure it's different for each, you know, who is practicing. But this love, it transcends all things, right? And so I look at this and I feel like, yeah, you are a person who, if you said, what is your religion? You would say something like, it is love. Love is my religion. And it's because you have a taste of this. This is something that you know, that you remember. Okay? And you are on a road to activating that, to letting that be in all corners of your life. Not just to be compartmentalized into one thing, but no, flowing through all things. And up here, I'm looking at, it looks like a paper. I mean, I was like, what does this say? It looks like some kind of official document. And then I thought, is this like a marriage certificate or, you know, some kind of, I don't know, like I can't think of what it would be. Some kind of contract or paper, maybe buying a house together, doing all that stuff you have to sign. But it seems like an official letter of some kind. And you can see kind of the rectangle here. And you can see ooh, that's making my finger shake. Ooh, sometimes my, I don't know what I don't know what it is. My hands, they just get strained. I've been, you know, doing yard work a lot and stuff. And I'm freaked out that I'm going to end up with arthritis really bad. There's every woman in my life, because we all are gardeners. We all do a lot of work with our hands. We all are cleaning a lot and stuff. Lots of arthritis. My sister has it as well. And she's a hairstylist. And, you know, it's just, I worry that will happen. Sorry to ramble about that, but I noticed my finger is like shaking on the right there. So an official paper of some kind. So maybe it is marriage. I mean, maybe you are going to get married. I don't want to hex you with that if that's something that you're like, nope. And no. But yes, we also have the person standing on the heart here, right below that paper. So I wonder if this does have to do with some kind of maybe like communal partnership, or communal, like you're buying a house, you bought a car together, you know, something, right? Maybe signed a lease together. You could be moving in together. Now, I'm looking at this. And I'm almost feeling like there is somebody involved with maybe they have an S name. Because I was like, is this, or maybe it's money. That kind of does look like a money sign, right? But I see up here, it looks like they have their arms up. And it looks like they're throwing a piece of candy. And I wonder, we have this other person with a heart above their head. I almost feel like this is like an ex, right? This is an ex or somebody that maybe really tried to date you, or like they asked you to marry them, or, you know, whatever it was. And yeah, it wasn't for you. And I don't think that it's like a thing where you were terrible to them. But I think that it wasn't for you. And maybe you even said something like, I'm just not interested in being serious like that. I don't think that'll ever happen. And then you meet this other person or whatever, and you get serious with them. And, you know, the other kind of scorned person or whatever, the rejected one, they're watching this unfold, and they're looking and they're saying, what the heck? You told me that you weren't ever going to date again. You told me that you don't want to move in with somebody. You told me you're absolutely not getting married, but here you are. Right? Or, you know, and this might be a little more difficult, but maybe it is that you are reactivating your relationship with your spouse, right? You're getting into this place where you are really connecting on a deep spiritual level, and you're seeing this new era of your relationship really kind of like a rebirth, right? Like falling in love all over again. And there's somebody on the outside, right, that maybe had interest in you. And they saw your marriage maybe wasn't going the best at the time. and you were talking, or you were just friendly, or, you know, whatever. And they got their hopes up. Maybe that was, you know, reasonable. And maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just that, you know, in their own head, they thought, hey, this is going to be, you know, something that maybe we can connect. Maybe they'll even leave their wife or their husband for me. And you said, nah. Probably not. You know? And, or whatever it was. And now they're seeing you kind of get back together with your significant other. And they're seeing it get better. And, you know, and there's kind of this little bit of sourness. Now, the candy to me, I really feel like it's kind of that illusion that happens with people, you know, and then I think we have to have this when we're dating, because otherwise, if we just looked at everything from the standpoint of somebody who's been together for like, you know, 5 years already, and you're like comfortable and kind of gross around each other, and, you know, you've been through some things and you've had some struggles, and, you know, you just know the person, you love them, but a lot of the mystery has kind of gone, and you choose to be together, and it's a loving, enduring thing, right? But it's not, there's not that like need to put on airs, right? There's not that like, I'm going to dangle this piece of candy in front of you and make everything seem so idyllic and so perfect, because I'm not really trying to initiate a relationship with you anymore. It's, yeah, we've been together, right? We know each other, and we still like each other. We still love each other, right? But there's still a, you know, that candy thing. Now, sometimes we meet people and they have, you know, we're both holding candy out. We're like wearing candy as clothing, and, you know, our house is made of candy, and, you know, just trying to really, really lay it on thick. And that maybe will work, and maybe that'll be awesome for a little while, and maybe it gets old too quickly, or, you know, it's just not your flavor. Maybe the candy they have is black licorice candy. I know there's going to be people that say, hey, I like black licorice. I do too. I mean, I don't, you know, I'm not going to go out and buy it myself, but if it's there and I accidentally eat the, you know, the black jelly bean, I'm not going to spit it out, right? But yeah, sometimes it's just like, okay, well, that candy is not going to do it, my friend. It's not going to do it. And, you know, I feel like this person, because they're throwing it in your direction, I feel like they're really, it's like their last hurrah, you know, because they're desperate. They see you falling in love and doing your thing, and you know, everything's working out, and here they are on the outside looking in, and they're gonna, you know, try to do that Hail Mary. If you don't know what that is, it's like a football thing where at the very end, the last play or whatever, they throw it from one, what is it called, the place where they run into that end zone? The end zone? Is that what it's called? I don't know. Anyways, they throw it from one side to the other, right? And the person catches it and they run it in or whatever. I think that's what I remember. I haven't watched football in a long time. But yes, the Hail Mary. That's the thing. It saves the game. Everybody's happy. You win, you know, against all odds and all of that. But not going to work. Absolutely not. The money sign. I feel like with this person that you're in love with, you guys are going to be making money together. It's your financial situation is going to get really, really good. And it has a lot to do with that love, because you're enjoying your life. You're doing well, right? You feel good. You're in love. You're like out there putting out your best, making your best work, doing your best work. And the money will come. Absolutely. All right, so we have a person sitting over here looking at, and it looks like that dandelion seed pod. You know the one, you blow it and you make a wish. And so I'm looking at this and it's telling me that this is a really good time for you to be manifesting, because everything is kind of moving in your favor right now. We have that fortune that's really flowing through your life, okay? And yeah, so definitely start manifesting the things that you want, you need. And if it's hard to kind of narrow that down, do a vision board. That's the fun one. I know it's kind of like pop spirituality, I guess, or new age, or they use it in different therapy modalities as well. But basically what it is, if you don't know, you take like a piece of paper or like a board or something, and you can cut out, like, from a magazine, if who has magazines anymore, I don't know, but you can cut things out, right? You can print them out or draw them or whatever, and say, like, I want like a really beautiful dog, right? I want to go out there. I want to find a dog that is my soulmate, that I'm going to go to a rescue or something, see online somewhere that somebody needs to rehome a dog or whatever. And I'm putting it into my intention. I'm going to put it on my vision board. I'm going to manifest this connection, right? Or maybe you want like a new job, right? And you know where you want to work, what, industry or whatever. So you put something up there that represents that, and so on. So you put all the things on there. And it's a fun exercise because it's so creative. And it's kind of, it's visual and tactile and all of the other things. But it's also really good to not only just kind of make a list and think about, these are the things I want to do, but to really kind of like be in it, right? There's something about creating that really makes us feel like we are a part of what this is, right? And we must be a part of it because these are our dreams. So let's go ahead. We're going to look at our gratitude affirmation cards, and I'm going to flip through and stop where it feels right. It says, Celestial Oasis. I am thankful for the celestial oasis of planet Earth. Our world is a source of life in our great galaxy, providing a nourishing atmosphere, gravity, breathable air, and everything necessary for us to exist. That is a long sentence. Our world is a source of life in our great galaxy. Yeah. Yes, I like it. I've been watching a lot of space videos lately. My husband keeps making fun of me because I'm really attracted to videos about the voids, these massive voids in the universe that I won't nerd out on it, but I really, I don't know why I'm like in such a macro headspace lately. All right, so practice. Look at the night sky and behold the vastness of the galaxy. Let a sense of wonder arise that Earth holds all necessary elements for life within our great universe. I like to think this way, especially when I'm having a hard time doing anything, right? If like the tire is flat, or I like forget about something and I don't show up to an appointment. I feel like I'm failing at life, or, you know, whatever's going on. And then I think to myself, okay, I messed up, right? Or, okay, this is like, you know, not working in my favor today. But let me remind myself, I am a miracle. Everything around me is a miracle. It is almost incomprehensible how many things aligned to allow me to be in this body with this consciousness, you know, and it supports life, and all of the infinite variables around me are working together to make this happen, and not only make it happen, but sustain it, which is beyond amazing, you know. And to remember, we are divine, right? That is divinity, if I've ever heard of it. And so, you know, it's a magical existence from the beginning to the end. You know, if there is a beginning or an end, I don't know. But it is. It's magical. It is a blessing. It is a miracle. It is something beyond what we can even begin to fathom. So, if I'm 5 minutes late to the doctor, I'll be all right. Because I'm a miracle, and so are you, right? All right. So anyways, Pisces, I want to tell you I love you, and I thank you for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you want to leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Absolutely. If you're new to the channel, shout it out in the comment section. And yeah, I think that's it. All right. I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk again real soon. Good night.